What if I told you that the most dominant team in modern basketball history is quietly teaching us the most valuable lesson in sports? What if the Golden State Warriors' so-called downfall isn't a tragedy, but actually the most satisfying part of their entire story? To understand why the Warriors' current chapter might be their most important, we need to rewind and appreciate the full context of their journey. Before they became a dynasty, the Golden State Warriors were basketball's perpetual underachievers. For decades, this franchise was synonymous with disappointment. Between 1994 and 2012, they made the playoffs just once, one time in 18 years. They were the team that drafted poorly, traded away stars like Chris Webber, and became known as a basketball wasteland where careers went to die. Then something changed. The 2009 NBA draft saw them select a skinny point guard from Davidson College with ankle concerns, Steph Curry. 2 years later, they added Klay Thompson. In 2012, they found Draymond Green in the second round. These three players would form the core of what would become the most revolutionary team in modern basketball history. The revolutionary rise. When Steve Kerr took over as head coach in 2014, he unleashed a style of basketball that would change the game forever. The Warriors embraced the three-point shot not as a supplementary weapon, but as their primary offensive strategy. Their death lineup featuring Draymond Green at center prioritized spacing, shooting, and switching defense over traditional basketball positions. The basketball world watched in awe as the Warriors transformed from perennial losers to history makers. The 2015-16 season saw them break the seemingly unbreakable record for regular season wins, going 73-9 and surpassing the 1995-96 Chicago Bulls mark of 72-10. Between 2015 and 2019, the Warriors appeared in 5 consecutive NBA Finals, winning 3 championships. Their rivalry with LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers produced some of the most watched basketball games in history, with their matchups averaging over 20 million viewers per finals game. After losing the 2016 finals despite their record-breaking season, the Warriors made a move that shocked the basketball world, signing superstar Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder. This created what many consider the most talented team ever assembled. With Durant, the Warriors became virtually unstoppable, winning back-to-back championships in 2017 and 2018. Their offense reached historic levels of efficiency, with Curry, Thompson, and Durant forming perhaps the greatest shooting trio in basketball history. But this dominance came at a cost. Basketball fans outside the Bay Area grew tired of the predictability. Television ratings began to dip. The Warriors became victims of their own success, so dominant that they made the sports outcome feel inevitable. The beginning of the end. The 2019 NBA Finals against the Toronto Raptors marked the beginning of the Warriors' decline. Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles tendon in Game 5. Klay Thompson tore his ACL in Game 6. The Warriors lost the series, and their dynasty appeared to crumble overnight. That summer, Durant left for the Brooklyn Nets. Andre Iguodala, a key veteran, was traded. The roster that had dominated the NBA was suddenly depleted. To make matters worse, Steph Curry broke his hand early in the 2019-20 season, limiting him to just 5 games. The team that had won 73 games just 3 seasons earlier finished with a league-worst 15-50 record. The Warriors had fallen from the NBA's summit to its basement with shocking speed. The forgotten years. The 2020-2021 season saw modest improvement, but no return to contention. Klay Thompson missed his second consecutive season with an Achilles injury. The Warriors finished 39-33, missing the playoffs again. Many basketball analysts declared the dynasty officially dead. Television appearances dropped dramatically. The team that had once been featured in primetime slots now found themselves in afternoon games. Their merchandise sales plummeted from first to outside the top 10. The basketball world had moved on to new stories, new teams, and new stars. The Warriors' core was aging. Curry turned 33. Thompson hadn't played in 2 years. Green's offensive limitations were becoming more glaring. The conventional wisdom was clear: the Warriors had their time, but that time was now over. What happened next defied all expectations. The 2021-22 season saw the Warriors gradually rebuild their identity. Thompson returned mid-season after 941 days away from basketball. Young players like Jordan Poole emerged as valuable contributors. Veterans like Andrew Wiggins found new life in the Warriors system. Against all odds, the Warriors returned to the NBA Finals in 2022, defeating the Boston Celtics to win their fourth championship in 8 years. This wasn't the same team that had dominated with overwhelming talent. This was a team that had adapted, evolved, and found a new way to win. Since that 2022 championship, the Warriors have entered a fascinating new phase. They're no longer the undisputed favorites, but they're far from irrelevant. They've maintained competitiveness while developing young talent like Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. The 2023-24 season saw them battle for playoff positioning in a competitive Western Conference. Though they didn't reach the heights of their dynasty years, they remained a team that no opponent took lightly. Their core trio of Curry, Thompson, and Green continued to show flashes of their former brilliance, even as they adapted to new physical limitations. The Warriors now exist in a middle ground, not dominant enough to be villains, not unsuccessful enough to be forgotten. And this is where the true satisfaction of their story emerges. So why is this downfall actually satisfying? Because what we're witnessing isn't just a fall, it's a transformation. The Golden State Warriors have given us something extraordinarily rare in professional sports, a complete narrative arc. We've seen them rise from decades of failure to unprecedented heights. We've seen them dominate, falter, and then find a new way to succeed. And now, we're watching them navigate the challenges of staying relevant while preparing for the future. The satisfaction comes from seeing a team refuse to fade away when their moment of dominance passed. Instead of collapsing into irrelevance like so many dynasties before them, the Warriors have embraced their new reality. Steph and Curry continues to redefine what's possible for aging superstars. Their organization has maintained a commitment to their style of play while adapting it to new personnel and new challenges. In many ways, this phase of the Warriors' journey is more impressive than their years of dominance. It's easy to win when you have the most talent. It's much harder to remain competitive when age, injuries, and the NBA's financial structure work against you. The Warriors have become basketball's greatest example of resilience and reinvention. Their downfall hasn't been a collapse, but a graceful evolution, from untouchable superteam to respected veterans, still capable of brilliance, still worthy of attention. This is the true satisfaction of the Warriors' story, watching greatness adapt rather than fade away. Seeing champions face adversity with dignity rather than denial. Witnessing the transformation from villains to respected elders of the game. So, what do you think? Is there something more admirable in how the Warriors have handled their decline than in how they managed their dominance? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deeper look at basketball's most fascinating franchise, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more content that goes beyond the box score.